This call is being recorded.
Begin to float up in your Merkaba light vehicle, up into the beautiful sunlit sky here, beautiful blue skies, up higher and higher till you pass the Earth's atmosphere. And you can look down now and see the beautiful planet, beautiful Earth, far below. Now be aware of that galactic pulse, that electric blue light coming from the galactic central sun, coming down through our solar sun, through all of the planets, connecting with all of the many ships out here, and then down towards your physical body, and entering your physical body through the top of your head, shooting down through your body, through your feet, into the earth, all the way to the core of the earth. Then from the core of the earth, another pulse of light shooting up through your body and back to the galactic central sun. So your physical body now has two columns of light, two pillars of light coming through it, one from above, one from below. And you're seeing this from the vantage point of being high above the earth. You see that light moving into your body, through your body. And then from that, from your body down there, see an expansion of light that happens and how from your body, shooting out from your body to all areas around, surrounding your physical body. You're still looking at it from high above. That energy is shooting out, and at the same time, the wave of energy, the galactic wave, is coming down to the earth and moving across the earth as a wave would move across. A wave of consciousness, a wave of love, wave of oneness, creating a shift of consciousness across the planet. And as this wave moves across and moves into all life forms are transformed in that moment. Transformed in that moment into whatever they can be, based on their vibration at the time. The vibration from the wave is so intense that it can't help but raise the vibration of whatever it touches, thus causing a shift in consciousness. To see that shift in consciousness now happening all across the planet, visualize it, create it. Know that it is not only going to happen, but it is happening now. It has already happened at the higher levels. That is how we know that it is for sure coming, cannot be stopped. See all across the planet being affected by this wave of energy, this pulse of light. Galactic pulse or galactic wave. Now, if you want, send this light, see this light moving into whatever pockets of darkness still exist today. And if you notice, they are becoming less and less since the time when you first began to do this meditation. There were many pockets of darkness at that time. Now now there are less and less, mostly just concentrated in a few certain areas. See that light moving into those areas and illuminating whatever darkness is still there. Now, if you would, allow yourselves to begin to drift back. Drift back into your Merkaba if you left it, or back in your Merkaba, back towards your physical body. Coming back down into your body. Leave your Merkaba just outside of your body or surrounding your body. But know that it is there at a moment's notice, that you can use for travel, you can use for protection. It is always there and will always be there. Come back now into a complete state of consciousness and circulation, fully revitalized and refreshed. I am Aramda. I am coming to you at this time, in this place, in this moment, in this what you call your advance. And an advance it is, as we see from our vantage point upon the ships, as we look down. And yes, we see what is occurring in your times here. We can see, as you might say, through the walls. We can see what you are saying, hear what you are saying, and we're aware of all of the advancement that is going on here. And know that here in our ships, we are doing everything that we can to prepare for the great many changes that are upon you. And we are here also to protect you, those of you here on the planet, the light workers, the warriors, the sharers and the bearers. And we are here to make sure that all goes according to the great plan. Even though the great plan has been diversified at times, goes off into various detours, you might say, at times, it is still strongly held upon its target right now. And that target, of course, for the earth, for all of you there on the earth, is ascension. Ascension, moving from one level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. That is what this is all about. You think you came here to learn. You think you came here to be in a school of learning. And that is only partially what you are here for. You have come for many, many lifetimes to prepare for this time now, where you could have an evolution of consciousness all in one moment, or seemingly one moment. It may not be a moment in your time, but it may be over a short period of time, say hours, maybe even days, but not much longer than that. The full ascension I speak of now, not the ascension process, but when you fully move through ascension, that will happen in a moment's time. Now, the galactic wave that is approaching even now as I speak to you here, even now as you continue to have your advance, that galactic wave is coming closer and closer. And it is destined to raise the consciousness all in one fell swoop, as it swoops across the planet, as it spreads across the planet. And you have had many times the analogy or the vision of a tsunami as it first connects to the land and begins to move across the land and washes over everything in its path. But certainly a tsunami, as it comes across, eventually will die out. Eventually it will diminish. Not this tsunami. This tsunami will spread across the entire planet, and it will do so in a very short period of time. So every life form on the planet cannot help but feel the immense consciousness that comes with this wave, the shift of consciousness that comes with this wave. So we say again, I say again, all of those that I work with, that work with me here in the Ashtar Command, the Jupiter Command, the Galactic Confederation of Planets, all of us are here to assist and help you through this process. And all you need to do is call upon us. Now, when you call upon us, does that mean we're going to show ourselves on our ships? Well, maybe. We may just do that more and more. We are doing that. Ashtar has said that we are doing that. And that is certainly true. We are here to help, to assist in any way that we can. And as everything continues to move ahead according to the great plan, those of you that are here on the earth are doing everything that you can. We know that you are doing everything that you can. Even if you are not actively pursuing certain projects or actively pursuing sharing the light with everyone around you, even if you are just attending a group such as this on a regular basis and doing these meditations, you are doing something. You are actively working at this. And we applaud you. We applaud you for your diligence in continuing to move through this entire process, not only of this lifetime, but of many lifetimes leading up to this. And it all has been leading up to the culmination, or the great crescendo that Sananda has spoken of. You are nearing that crescendo. And we await the many changes that will happen as a result of that, just as you are. The only difference is we can see a little bit further into the future than you can at this point. And we know that it is already in the happening process right now. I am Aramda, and I am always with you and will continue to be with you, and I am close to many of you, and many of you are close to me, and we will break bread again soon. Aramda out. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om. Greetings to you. One who serves here and with you, and Shoshanna is also here standing by, ready to assist in her wonderful ways of doing so, that has added so much to these discourses that we are having with you. And we are so thankful that she has decided to, or rather that Joanna has decided to allow for this process to happen here. So we will continue on with the show, as the saying goes. And we wish to address something here that has come up in your conversation earlier. Ha-ha, surprise. You didn't think we were going to do that, but certainly we are going to. Because it is important that you understand more and more that you are on the cusp, people. You are on the cusp of these great many changes. And you are going to need more and more to let go of everything that can be considered any type of an attachment at all. You will not ascend if you have attachments. We will say that very clearly now. You cannot ascend, full ascension now, not go through the ascension process, but you cannot fully ascend until all your attachments are gone. You cannot step into the ring past knot and pass through until all your attachments are gone. Now, that may seem like a very daunting task to you, And from your point of view, your three-dimensional consciousness, it is overwhelming to you to even think about that. But Sugatura Rus said some time ago through this one James, very simply, you needed, and this was years and years ago, what, Cynthia, maybe 20 years ago or so, something of this nature, and said two simple things. Learn to control your thoughts, and learn to release your attachments. Let go of your attachments. Those two things. And when you have accomplished that, you are ascended. But now, from your three-dimensional understanding, many of you are saying, well, how can we control our thoughts? Our thoughts let go all kinds of crazy ways, and you have this chatter going on and all of that to control your thoughts. But it is not as difficult as you think it is as you continue to raise your vibrations. It becomes easier and easier and easier to do, because at some point your thoughts will match your vibrations, and your vibrations will match your thoughts. See, that is how it works. And the attachments that come from your three-dimensional illusionary programs that are here will also diminish as your vibrations and thoughts increase. You see how this works? So it will be somewhat more of an effortless effort the more that you continue to move up in vibration. And it will come easier and easier to you in that respect. Do you need at this time to work on it? Yes, you do. You need to work on this whenever you can. You need to work on controlling your thoughts. You need to work on now letting go of all attachments. And names are attachments. Now, that does not mean that you are not going to take your name with you through the ascension. You will. But the attachment to the name is what you will let go of. The attachment to who you may have been in past times, you will let go of. For there will be no reason to have it anymore other than to know that it is. Whether you were Cleopatra, whether you were King James, whether you were Yeshua, whether you were whatever it might be, or connected to them in any respect, it matters not at this point, except, and this is a big except, it matters only to you and within you, not to anyone else around you, what they may think or anything about this. You know the truth within yourself, and that is what is important, but only if it comes to you within yourself. If it comes to you from another person saying, oh, you were this or you were that, pay no attention to that until it fully resonates within you. And then it will mean something. And then you will take that on through the ascension. You will take that on through the ascension process and through the full ascension when that time comes. When the frequencies, when the vibrations increase enough. Okay, Shoshanna, anything to add here?
Shoshanna has a message from the Great One. Shoshanna has a message from the Queen of Mercy, from the Queen of Peace.
We can't hear you.
He is not saying anything at this moment.
So
And I guess she said something.
there's a message from this Great One that the most valuable thing for each of you to do is have compassion for yourself. Have mercy for yourself. Have love for yourself. Embody compassion for you as it is your pain and suffering that you must have compassion for to transmute that pain and suffering. The attachment is the pain. The attachment is the suffering. The compassion that we feel for you, for this great work that you have embarked on, for this great undertaking that is so necessary for the entire movement of all the universes, all the galaxies you have taken on. It is very difficult for you. You must understand the necessity for compassion for you, for yourself, of the great travails you have embarked upon in your past, in your present, and in your future. Have mercy upon yourself for the difficulties that have arisen from this great undertaking and this difficult third realm, this difficult, chaotic third realm. We ask you now to simply understand the compassion you need for you and let that embody you. And as it embodies you, it embodies all.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All is one and one is all. Are there questions now for one who serves in Shoshanna?
I would like to say something who serves. This is Irena.
Is it in form of a question?
No, it's not a question, and actually I want to thank you first for bringing that out about attachments, and because I felt shift energy in myself and in the group when we start discussing that matter. And I think that matter is still very sensitive to the group and to me too, and that having identity thing, what it's in reality, I am one, and I am one with everyone. So it doesn't matter, but I want to thank you for bringing that up and just saying about it, mentioning about it, that we need to ascend and we need to detach from all this attachment. Thank you, Ashanti, and thank you for Shoshanna. Thank you.
You are most welcome. And someone spoke earlier about that this is the hard times, or this is the hard work to do here. And you have had these advancements now, these advances, which are advancements, for some time now, and each one building upon the next one, the one before it, and each one again and again and again. And if you notice, those of you that have been attending these advancements, they are getting more and more difficult in some ways because you are reaching deeper and deeper and deeper within yourselves and finding those things within you that you do not want to look at, that you are not wanting to possibly let go of. And the ego is very crafty, you might say. It does everything that it can to hold on to you. It is such as the James was given by us, to use that movie analogy, your devil's advocate here. And it is the same thing. In that case, it was the devil. In this case, it's the ego. And the ego tries everything it can to hold on. But you see, the ego must let go. It is not going to go away. It is always going to be a part of you. But that lower part of your ego, those lower chakra centers, are going to eventually need to let go in order to move on through your ascension. The ego cannot go through the ascension as it is now. Everything that is in those lower chakra centers are based on programming and attachments. This is why you must lift the chakra centers up into the higher chakras. the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and beyond. And this is the process that you are all going through here and why you attend these advances like this. And again, you are dealing with some hard stuff. You dealt with some hard stuff that came up in the last advance, and you moved through it. And now you're dealing with something else. The ego is attempting to break in another way, what the James might call coming in the back door here, and is attempting to hold on to its identification. The ego wants to be identified, you see. This is why we, as the one who serves, that have taken on that title, we do not share our names or who we were or anything of this nature with anyone else other than this group. I myself have shared with this group the one name that I was. I was other ones before as well. Not going to share those with you at this time. And the others are not ready to share theirs yet either. Although one did share with the James just only here for now. But it is important to know that you are all moving through these advancements here and continuing to raise your vibrations. And you will come upon these harder challenges that will come up upon you and create some concern within yourself, and you will begin to possibly to feel like you are being chastised or being, what's his word here we are looking for? Discredited. Discredited is a good word here. And that is okay. It matters not. This is what we need you to get to understand. It does not matter one bit what others think of you. Not one. You see? It matters not what we think of you. We have no purpose in you. So we are not disappointed or anything by anything that you would do. We being all of the ascended masters, the archangels, the Garthans, the Galactics, none of us are disappointed in anything that you do or say because we have no purpose directly in you. We hope you understand that. That is becoming into a neutral state. That is what you need to work toward, neutral. And guess what? When you reach that neutral state, fully reach that neutral state, you're ascended. You see? Anything, Shoshanna, to add here?
Shoshanna wishes to share an important aspect of that which the compassion that was given to you. There is a process of neutrality. Neutrality is reached from three states. One must first value themselves completely. One must give up all that is not valuable in one's existence. One must realize their value, their complete value, not in arrogance, but in understanding that each is divine, each is God, each is goddess. That is the divine, that is the value. One must have compassion for oneself. One must understand the difficulties and the travails and allow that to be risen in the heart through compassion and understanding of oneself, and then through that to others. After compassion comes mercy and understanding that all do not walk the path, all do not understand the path, and we must forgive and move on and rise up from that. After those things happen, neutrality will occur. It is very important that each not seek external value. It is important that each must not seek value from others, that others must validate you. This is not the way. This is the way of the victim. The others cannot validate you because you are valuable regardless of what others think, as the one who serves has indicated. When this lesson is fully understood, neutrality occurs. In neutrality occurs completion and balance and movement forward to the next dimension.
Very wonderfully said. Would there be other questions here?
In the room or through the phone?
First through the phone here. Give them an opportunity, and then we ask here in the room.
Yes, this is Orv.
Yes.
Excuse me. What was I going to say? Oh, God. Oh, yes. Could you give us some examples, some more examples of attachment? Because I'm pretty attached to breathing right now, and I like oxygen.
We hope you like oxygen. We hope you continue to breathe. Keep that attachment going. That one is necessary, at least for the time being. Maybe for a long time, we can say here. So we know you're joking, and we are joking back with you. And certainly there are many attachments. We could not even begin to describe all of them. But the simple ones would be attachment to money, attachment to material possessions, attachment to your family, to your children even. That may sound strange to you. How can you let go of your attachment to your children? And we would say to you, they are not your children. They are not yours. They do not belong to you. You see, when they come in as babies, they belong to the God source. They belong to the universe. It is only by your customs, your culture, that they then become imprinted on you as the ones who, in some respects, you tend to think you own them, but they are not yours. They are there for you to help to bring them up, to help develop them, to work with them, to love them. Yes, all of that. You want to do that. But what happens when they are ready to move out of the so-called nest? They move away. They are not belonging to you anymore. Not in the way that you thought they were before, you see? So that is certainly an attachment that you need to learn to let go of. Love them, be with them, want to do everything you can to help them, but do not think in any terms that they belong to you, for they do not. They belong to the universe, just as you belong to the universe. Okay?
Joanna wishes to share on the attachment.
Yes, yes.
It is very simple, my brother Orr. Blessings to you. We love you so much. An attachment is an anchor to pain and suffering. When a being feels pain and suffering, that being is attached to something that is not worthy of that being. That is all it is. When we feel pain, when we feel suffering, emotionally, physically, and mentally, we are wishing for something that does not exist, which is the attachment.
Yes, wonderful. And we give something here also that may help and may surprise some of you, but it was given by Yeshua some time ago through this one, James. And it was given that let go of fear, and you let go of all pain and suffering. Let go of fear in your life, attachment, fear, and you let go, as Shoshanna just said, you let go of all pain and suffering in your life. For if you let go of the fear, what is left? Love. Love is the opposite of fear. If fear is no longer in the picture, and it will not be in the higher vibrations of the after ascension, then there will only be love left. Therefore, no pain and suffering of any kind. You see? So attachments, let go of them. Work on letting go of all of them. And you can come up with your own idea of what attachments are. If you are feeling like you are being controlled by something, that is an attachment, whatever it might be. We used the term earlier, money. Money is control. Many are controlled by money. Many are controlled by their material possessions. And all of these other types of attachments that come up, attached to where you live, attached to who you are with, etc. You see, you are a universe unto yourself. You are the God source within you. Okay? Does this answer your question, dear brother?
Yes, brother, it does. Excellent, thank you.
Very good. Are there other questions here on the phone before we move to the room here?
Yes, this is Lorelei.
Yes.
Hello, dear brother. Okay, so I'm asking my higher self to give me the words to say this in the best way possible. As I've been listening through the weekend, there's come up a worry or concern inside of me that people may hear some of the conversation about letting go of attachment and about not revisiting the past over and over again, that people may hear this in a way that sort of limits their ability to transform something. And I do, having seen, say, transformational practices on the planet that are very powerful, I do know that there's a difference between us being in the round robin of a psychological conversation that keeps going and going and going forever, and a difference between that and being in a transformational practice that will literally get rid of an attachment or a fear, seemingly overnight, in a few hours or a few days. And I love...
Yes?
Are there people on the phone?
I am still on the phone. She disappeared. I am.
Hello?
I think we lost her.
We've lost her.
Okay, then if she comes back, we can continue that. That's quite gotten to her question, yes. Would there be anyone else on the phone that wishes to ask questions?
I
Sorry,
do, if that's okay.
I apologize. I got cut off somehow. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
This is Lorelei.
Okay.
Are you in?
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes, please. Make it
Okay.
succinct, though.
Okay. So I'd like to hear what is your take on this in allowing people freedom to look, say, to their past in a way that's transformational, as opposed to the loop, the continuous loop. And this could provide something for people. And I feel sometimes like people might feel like they have to do it, like they should be perfect in the matter of being able to detach from this or detach from that, and not to seek an outside source, because you're not.
We're going to tell you about this. Is going to be somewhat controversial for you, certainly, who is asking this question, as well as others who may be in professions such as psychology. Even this James was in that profession at this time. And
Please mute.
Mute your phone, please. Mute your phone. Very good. What we're going to tell you can be somewhat controversial, but it is necessary for you to know. No one needs to go back into their past. No one, we say that again, no one needs to go back into their past in order to understand their present. The present is the present. The past is the past. Now, the past is memories, nothing but memories. And if you went back into the past, such as in past life regression, and you would go back to a time where the source of whatever the problem may be in this lifetime, and you find that source, then you would be able to change the memory of that. Okay? That could be helpful in that sense, in understanding that it is something you still need to do. That is your understanding. But what we are telling you now is all of you, those of you, the light workers, warriors, and all of that, you are past this need to do this. We are not saying that it cannot be helpful to others, because that is where they are. Many of them still live in the past. And if they live in the past, then they'll need to deal with that past before they can fully live in the present. But those of you here, knowing what you know now, move beyond the past. Let the past go. It is memories, and that is all it is. And it carries no salvation to you to be in the present moment. Learn to be in the present moment, and those things that were in the past will no longer be concerning to you, unless you hold them as attachments. Again, here we are with the attachments again. The past memories are attachments. You see? Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Nothing from Shoshanna.
Shoshana,
So,
Shoshana,
we were waiting to say, hear you say, Shoshana wishes to share. But you did not, so very good. Please.
Beloved Lorelei, my sister, my beloved, this is a trick. The past is a trick.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The past, the training that the human race has received is to keep them anchored in the third dimension. The training is to stay in the past, to examine the past, to be in the past, to look at the past, to define the past. And that is what defines us and keeps us from being in the present and creating the magnificent future that is ours. One must give up the past. This is not to say we cannot learn from the past. It is simply a loop. It is a programmed loop. It is a trick. The issue now is to find the program that is running, and the program that is running for many is to examine the past. That is a program. We must examine the past in order to move forward, yet it keeps us in the past. It is a loop. It is a loop over and over and over again. And what is the folly in all of this is that we fell for it. That is the folly in all of this. We fell for it. We go to psychiatrists and psychologists, and we talk about our past over and over and over again to keep us there. It is a trick. It is training that has been programmed into the human race in the 30s. We must let go. We can identify. That is a program. We have identified that the program running throughout here in the psychology and the psychiatry of humanity is to examine the past. It is simply a program. Let go of that program, move into the present, to the present moment of joy and love and understanding and happiness and music and all of those things that make us so excited. And the past will diminish.
Yes, very well said, dear Shoshana. And Lorelei? Lorelei?
Yes.
It is time
yes.
for you to look for a new profession. It is time for you to look for a new type of coaching. Do not coach of the past anymore. We're saying this directly to you now. It is time.
Okay,
let
all right.
Shoshana
okay.
has said, as we have said, let go of the past. Do not operate within the past. Do not continue to keep the programs going of the cabal that has created this entire process. Psychology, psychiatry, all of this, in going back, especially psychoanalysis and those types of things, going back and looking at what your mother did to you or whatever it might be can be no helpful now. You see?
Okay, and you're saying even for people that are not at the level we're at, then I need to leave that behind.
It depends on the ones that you are working with. But what we are telling you is your skills can be better put to use in other ways. It is up to you to discover what those other ways are, but find ways where you can not have to continue to keep this program going of working through the past problems and all the issues that have come from the past.
Okay.
All the present situations and problems that people have are because of what they carried from the past. You understand this?
I do. And you're talking
all get this. Once you all get this, then you will understand that all you need is the present moment. You can have your memories, your loving memories, and all of that. That is all wonderful, but do not have them to hold you as attachments to the past. And that is where the majority of the world's population finds themselves dealing with all the time, living in the past. Purposefully set up by those of the dark forces to do this. But you all know better now. Okay? We move on now. Any other questions here?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Yesterday, James said that he had integrated with his higher self, and then he lost that connection. And just like to know, did I misunderstand, or is that something that can happen?
What he meant to help you to understand is he thought he lost that connection. He never has lost that connection. It is just that it became less and less prominent, you might say, in his life over a period of time. But the connection has always been there. Now we increase that to all of you. All of you have never lost your connection to your higher self. Never, ever. Nor could you. It is just the mind, which the mind is the builder, and the mind is what has lost the connection. You see? The heart has always been connected and always will be connected. You understand this?
Yes, thank you.
Shoshanna, would
Yes.
you like to share on this?
Yes.
The higher self and the human being are one. There is no difference. What clouds our ability to hear the wisdom that is directly from the source through the higher self is the program that is playing. If one is playing the program of guilt, the higher self cannot whisper. If one is playing the program of hate, the higher self cannot whisper to you and move you forward in consciousness, move your third dimensional mind into the higher realm, because we are playing programs that are detrimental to our ability to hear the higher self. When one is playing the program of compassion and mercy, the higher self then engages. When one is playing the program of love and understanding and wishes for wisdom, the higher self then can engage. The higher self does not have the programs of guilt and hate and cannot hear when those programs are playing and cannot come through to you. So you must be vigilant about the programs that you are playing. The program of arrogance is especially strong that the higher self cannot come through to you in its completely neutral way. Arrogance is maybe one of the worst emotions, the most difficult emotions for humans, because arrogance is the emotion of wanting to be validated outside of oneself, and the higher self cannot come through in that instance. So work on the programs, and the higher self will become more with you.
Very good. We move on to questions here from those here in the room. Anyone here in the room?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to ask this question of both of you, if you will. I'd like to have a deeper understanding of what faith is. We are told, and sometimes
Can hear you. Can hear you.
We are told, and sometimes it can be trite because it's repeated often, that if we have faith, we will see. What is there about faith that helps us to see?
Oh, my goodness. You have touched on the very topic for this evening.
I know.
It is all going to be about faith. It is faith here in the James to be able to even do this tonight. To begin with, it is going to be faith that is going to take each and every one of you through the process that is possible tonight. So you will have your answer of what faith is after this evening. That is what we can tell you directly. And that will be the best indication of what faith is without giving definition. You can go on your Google or your, Wikipedia or whatever those things are, and you can get definition of faith, and it will give you a definition that someone came up with somewhere along the way, but it will not do anything to give you the full understanding until you see it for yourself. You see? Does this make sense to you?
No.
Shoshanna can share on this.
Yes.
My beloved brother, it resides within the heart. It resides within the cell. It is the understanding that all is well. Faith is the understanding that all is well. If one would live in faith, one would know each moment is preordained in a fashion to support the being, not to be against the being. Faith is about that. Is about knowing that each moment is perfect. It is about knowing that each thing that occurs is in perfection for the being that is experiencing that, so that that being can have a higher knowing of itself and thus have a higher knowing of the Creator that it is. That is what faith is. One must understand faith resides in the heart and is internal and is perfect.
Thank you.
Very good.
Namaste, dear brother.
Any other questions here from those in the room?
I have a question.
Yes, please come to your microphone here.
Sure. This is Neja, and the question is about an experience I went through this week. On Tuesday morning around 4 a.m., I was seeing through my third eye kind of mountains and light behind the mountains. But I was looking at it from below, really below. And I was like, okay, interesting, I need to go back to sleep. Then the voices in my head, I said, no, wait, we will need to bring you to a theta state.
To a what state?
Theta.
Theta state.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So be it. And after that, it was a switch between me knowing things and seeing things. And it looks like I was led to something like an incubator or a healing bed or something like that. And after whatever while, like a crowd was like saying, okay, everything, they are happy, everything went well. And and stuff, and I was aware about two beings the closest to the thing. One of them is a serpent-like being, and I saw the two eyes, glitting eyes, like light or something, and a third dot in the face. So, and what I got of it, it was kind of not really healing, but kind of soul surgery, or I don't know. This is what I got from it. So my question is, what you can clarify what was this experience, and who was the serpent-like being, and was it kind of preparation to whatever was supposed to happen during the advance, or not? Thank you.
It was not preparation for what would happen here at the advance, but it was preparation for what would happen at the advance. So certainly there is connection here, but you are experiencing, or we're experiencing, those things which are in the works, you might say, that are coming in terms of the bed as you saw it. There are those what are called med beds that are coming forward here very shortly here as we find it. They are already in process of being introduced to the public, and they are going to be coming. But they are only the precursors to what are called the crystal chambers and the chambers of light and these types of things. And all of this is leading to that. Now, in terms of the serpent, what is the serpent? The serpent is the indicative of wise. Be as wise as the serpent, you see? So it is showing you that you are moving in a direction where your wisdom is picking up greatly. You are becoming wiser and wiser. You are becoming more and more attuned to the ancient wisdom, you see? Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely, sure.
Shoshanna, anything to add here?
Shoshanna wishes to share with this one known as the ninja.
The real.
This is the ninja. The things that show up in your experience are unique to you, and you must string these experiences together to get the full picture. It is, as one who serves has said, these are in preparation for. There is no complete explanation at this time, but keep in mind that these experiences and these visions and these visuals that are being given to you are in preparation of your own future. And you must allow these experiences to be and trust that they are perfect for you and that in time you will understand them completely. No one can offer you a full explanation at this time, as these experiences are meant for you to explore and to put together like a puzzle. Does this make sense, my love?
Yes.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Any other further questions here within the room? We need to release channel here shortly.
I have a question for Joanna. Was it Shoshanna that came?
Nobody could hear that question there on the phone. So the question was this through Joanna, was this Shoshanna, or was this Kuan Yin who came through earlier? Now you can answer, please.
Kuan Yin was knocking at our door and filling this one Joanna with compassion and love for all. And Joanna, who is more direct, felt a complete compassion and love for those in the room that are suffering and entrenched in their egos. Joanna felt so much love through Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin wished to give you a message, and Joanna resisted and said to Kuan Yin, this beautiful, compassionate, loving, ascended ascended being that she wished for Shoshanna to deliver the message. So it was a very interesting round robin. And it was complicated. And in the end, Wan Yin overlit Shoshanna and said her those words, and she delivered them to
Yes,
Namaste,
and we can add here that this is a process that this one is going to go through here, is going through now. And will continue to go through this process in her own way. And there is no reason to rush it or to pressure of any kind here. Just will be what it will be when it will be. Okay? Any other question here? We need to release channel. One more question, we release channel.
Okay. I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
If I can, if you can share some information on the one known as Doreen Virtue. So many people have had or have the information that she had put out about regarding angels, and now she has declared that she is no longer participating in this information. And I want to understand if she has been taken over by the dark forces, and how does this this transition that she has made affect the work that she has put out that seems to have helped so many people. Is this, and I'm wondering if this is maybe for maybe sort of a lesson to so many that shares her work, to take a look at how much power is put into, one such as this.
We understand the question, and first of all, to say it more in a broad, generalized term here, whatever comes as far as the work goes is the work. In other words, if it has power, if it has ability to help and assist others, then it will do that, and it will continue to do that, no matter what happens to the one who gave that message. The message is the message. Okay? Matters not where it came from. Now, we will not address this one directly as you are asking as to what happened to her, but we can say that there are times when those who are bringing these messages forward are hitting the mark, you might say. And as they hit the mark more and more, then those of the dark forces do tend to get notice of this. And when they get notice of this, they do attempt to interfere in whatever way that they can. And if they are able to interfere, then they can dissuade that one who has been bringing these messages forward to no longer do so. This happened, we will just share this with you, and this is only for those of you in this group, but this happened with the one Ray Stanford some time ago. Exactly what we are talking about here happened there. He would not, of course, admit that, but it did happen at the time and caused the movement away from the plan that was in store for this one at that time. So for this one you are asking, very similar in this understanding.
Sort of feeling that. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes. Then we are needing to release channel, but before we do, we just share with you now that the assembly this evening, and we say assembly purposefully, because it will not be just those of you here in this group, in this room, or those of you on the phone. There will be an assembly of many that will be with you in this process. And it is a process that is going to occur here. And James has been receiving information. We have been giving it to him here and there for over this day, mostly today, and a little bit yesterday, but very little leading up to this advance, because we did not want to scare him off here. That you will understand why we say this when the time comes, if it is able to complete. Just as the Joanna was not able to allow for the full process of Kuan Yin to come through, this one, James, is a little reticent to bring the full power of Yeshua through. But with all of your encouragement and love for this process this evening, then it can happen. And it will happen. So just be ready for it and encourage and love all through this. And it can be a miraculous, and we use that term purposefully here, a miraculous happening this evening. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.
Shanti. Shanti, gratitude.
Namaste.